The UK has a monarchy, and the monarch, the Queen, is supposed to be politically neutral. But is she? Let's find out. So the UK still has a monarchy, and sometimes that's regarded as a little bit quaint, rather like afternoon tea and crumpets. Now, although we have a monarchy and the monarch, the Queen, is the head of state, she is not supposed to be involved in governing. Under our modern constitutional settlement, governing is supposed to be left to the democratically elected government. Indeed, under our constitution, there is a rule that requires the Queen to be politically neutral, and this is recognised in various official publications and on the monarchy's own websites. This constitutional rule, also called a constitutional convention, requires that the Queen not be involved in political affairs. Now, there have been instances where, to some eyes, it may appear that the Queen is making political statements in public. Scotland is in the news at the moment. There is talk about Scotland becoming an independent country, breaking away from the UK. Well, back in 2014, there was a referendum in Scotland on Scottish independence. And what's interesting is that a few days before that vote, the Queen came out in public and made a statement that the people of Scotland should think very carefully when deciding how to vote in that referendum. In the end, Scotland decided to remain within the UK, but some commentators were critical of the Queen's public statements on that occasion. And there are other instances of the Queen making public statements that have attracted some controversy. What I want to do here, though, is focus on something deeper within the UK Constitution, a tension within the Constitution regarding the role of the monarch in political affairs. The tension is essentially this. On the one hand, there is a constitutional rule that requires the monarch to be politically neutral. The Queen is not supposed to be getting involved in political affairs. And this is recognised officially, for instance, on the monarchy's website. The Queen will state that she is not involved in political affairs, that she does not vote, she doesn't stand for elections, and so on. So that's constitutional rule number one. But there is also a second constitutional rule, according to which the Queen has the right to advise, to encourage, and to warn her government. And what that means is the Queen can express her political opinions to the government in private, in confidence. One forum in which this takes place is the weekly audience between the Prime Minister and the Queen. The weekly audience, as the name suggests, is a meeting every week between the Queen and the Prime Minister, and they can discuss all sorts of matters. The contents of that meeting are confidential, no minutes are kept, and it's perfectly possible in that meeting for the Queen to express her political opinions on all sorts of matters and indeed to try to influence the government. This second constitutional rule is acknowledged in various places, including official publications such as the monarchy's own website. So what's going on here? It appears that there's a tension within the Constitution. On the one hand, the Constitution is requiring that the Queen be politically neutral. And on the other hand, there is another constitutional rule which permits the Queen to be politically active and to try to make a difference politically. It may be worth adding that tensions or conflicts are not uncommon within constitutions or legal systems more generally. But nonetheless, this is a tension concerning the role of the monarch within political affairs. And the obvious question that we face is, what should we do about this? Is this okay? Should we leave this as it is? Or do we want to consider possible reform? One option for reform might be to keep the first rule, to hold on to that. The Queen should be politically neutral, and then get rid of the second rule. the rule that permits the Queen to be politically active in certain circumstances. If we chose this reform option, it would mean that the Queen really is a ceremonial figure. It would ensure that she is removed from the political realm, that she's separated from politics, and that there are no circumstances in which she might be trying to influence the political decisions of the democratically elected government. On the other hand, we might just say, well, let's leave things as they are. Things aren't going too badly wrong. Why tinker around with this? There is also a third option, which is to say, let's get rid of constitutional rule number 1. Let's no longer say that the Queen is supposed to be politically neutral, and let's instead stick with constitutional rule number 2, according to which the Queen is entitled to be politically active in certain circumstances. That is the route to go. And what's interesting is that there are comparisons with certain other monarchies around the world. So, for instance, the monarchy of Belgium is quite open about the king, the Belgian king, being involved in politics, being involved in expressing his political opinion and exerting his influence in political affairs. And you'll find this stated openly, explicitly, on the website of the Belgian monarchy. So that's another option that's available as well. We'd be saying that in the UK, the Queen can be politically active, and guess what? She shouldn't be shying away from that. She shouldn't have to worry about claiming that she's politically neutral. There's nothing wrong with the Queen expressing her political opinions to the government, and then of course it's up to the government whether they listen to her or not. So it seems there are a number of options available. The question is, what should we do? Should we leave things as they are, or should we reform things? Should we try to make the Queen more politically neutral, maybe as a way of protecting her? Or should we say, well, the Queen may have some valuable political contributions to make. She should be able to make those contributions, and she shouldn't be shying away from this and hiding this. What do you think? Do you find any of these options appealing? Maybe you think that there are some options that I haven't considered. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. I've been working on my royal wave, and I think it's all in the wrist.